Good morning, grade 11. Welcome to our fourth virtual class. This is still your teacher, Joe Maricar. Our topic for this morning is the continuation to strategies to avoid communication breakdown. So these are the tips on how to overcome barriers. Number one, active listening. Active listening is a skill that can be acquired and improved with practice. However, this skill can be difficult to achieve and will therefore take time and delay. Active listening means actively listening or fully focusing on what is being said rather than just hearing the message of the speaker. Active listening involves listening with all senses. There are both verbal and nonverbal indicators that convey active listening. Nonverbal signs includes smiling, if appropriate, making eye contact, nodding at appropriate times, and avoiding interruptions. These nonverbal cues relay the message that you are interested in what the speaker has to say and that your attention is fully invested. Giving verbal signs of active listening can also be meaningful. Paraphrasing involves looking for slightly different terms to repeat the main idea of the speaker and is also a great way to show how active listening. Second, use common language. It is important to consider the audience that you are speaking to and use language that can be easily understood. Avoid using unfamiliar terminology or jargon when speaking to clients and their families. An important tool to use when speaking is to stop occasionally and ask questions to ensure that your message is being understood as intended. Number 3. Give constructive response. While the response that you give to the speaker or sender may occasionally be negative, it is important that it be constructive in nature. The goal of the feedback should be to further the abilities of the speaker. This will bond the interpersonal relationship and enhance future communications. Fourth, focus on the issue, not the speaker. Try not to take all personally, and similarly, express your own wants and opinions in terms of the job at hand. Solve problems rather than attempt to manipulate others. Fifth, be genuine rather than control. Be yourself openly and honestly. Be honest with yourself and center on working well with the person around you and acting with integrity. Number 6, empathize rather than remain alone. Although professional relationships entail some borders when it comes to interaction with colleagues, it is important to show sensitivity and to really care about the people you work with. If you don't care about them, it will be difficult for them to care about you when it comes to being together. Number 7. Be patient towards others. Allow for other points of view and be liberated to other ways of doing things. Diversity affects creativity and innovation. Number 8. You have to promote yourself and your own experiences. Be strong about your own rights and needs. Undervaluing yourself motivate others to undervalue you too. So let's proceed to our topic 5, the 7 C's of effective communication by Brooms and others, year 2012. The first C, completeness. It is very important that the receiver gets to hear everything so that proper responses, reactions, evaluation, or feedback could be done. That is what complete communication is. So you need to complete all the details and your ideas. Number 2, conciseness. To be concise basically means getting straight to the point. There should be no beating around the bush. Thus, irrelevant or redundant information should be eliminated within the communication process. Number 3, consideration. There is a need for the speaker to consider the receiver's mood, status, background, preferences, needs, and the like to build rapport him or her. Once rapport is established, effective communication is possible. So you need to consider your audience. Number 4, concreteness. When information sent by the sender to the receiver is supported by facts, figures, or real-life examples and situations, effective communication takes place. So it is also important to support your opinions with facts, figures, and real-life examples. Number 5, courtesy. Respecting the culture and beliefs of the receiver creates a positive impact in the communication process. Number 6, clearness. The use of simple, specific words in expressing ideas ensures clarity in communication. This signifies when the speaker focuses on a single objective to avoid confusing the audience. So if you have a topic, so do not go beyond your limitation. Number 7, correctness. Credibility and effectiveness of the message can be achieved by eliminating grammatical errors in the communication process. This implies that correctness in grammar creates a positive impact on the audience. So as possible, you can ask someone to check your grammatical or grammar so that it will eliminate the grammatical errors. Okay, those are the barriers and the 7 C's. So let's sum up. Here are the key points tackled in the Module 3. Communication breakdown as defined by Emily Roger is a failure to exchange information resulting in lack of communication. According to Rogers, a successful class requires communication that is well-oiled machine, two individual parts that simply cannot function without each other, between you and the one you are communicating with or among members of a group. K. Communication barriers that cause communication breakdowns. Lost in translation, the attention span of a gnat or teacher repeating instruction, student listening attentively, too much information, and under pressure on high-stress jobs. Moreover, the following are the identified barriers: language, psychological, physiological, physical, attitudinal, using generalization and stereotypes, jumping to an immediate conclusion, dysfunctional feedbacks, and lacking the confidence. The effects of communication breakdown are loss of morale, demotivation, embarrassment, anger, tension among team, stress caused to individuals, loss of clients, business and sales or friends or relationships, disorganization, gossip, and higher employee turnover or lack of retention for business. There are 5 ways or simple ways to resolve communication breakdown: observe, take options, sharing, practice, and teamwork. There are also strategies in overcoming barriers in communication, and these are active listening, use of common language, giving constructive response, focusing on the issue, not the speaker, being genuine rather than controlling, empathizing rather than remaining alone, being patient towards others, and promoting yourself and your own experiences. And also, effective communication has the following 7 C's features: completeness, conciseness, consideration, concreteness, clearness, and correctness in grammar. So these are the key points that you should remember from the first discussion up to this discussion. So let's go to another topic. So this is already the week 4 in your module. So this module entitled Sample Oral Communication Activities. Sample Oral Communication Activities. Our words are absolutely influential. William Shakespeare, the famous poet, playwright, dramatist, and actor, has proven an exceptional fiat on the play of words. Words are crafted into different texts, both oral and written form. Some well-crafted oral communication activities include oral poetry, songs, stories, speech, and oral presentation. So let's discuss this one by one as we go along with our discussion. So let us first read our learning objectives. In this lesson, you are expected to: number 1, compare dynamic and flat oral communication activities. Second, appreciate effective oral text employed by speakers. And last, recognize verbal and non-verbal cues used to effectively convey a message. Communication involves verbal and non-verbal cues. Verbal cues include auditory language like sound and words in order to deliver or exchange information. It is the superficial part of communication because it is more obvious than non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues are your total presentation and self-expression apart from spoken words. You will miss some non-verbal cues when you are not in the face-to-face interaction, like on the phone or using the messenger. How do verbal and nonverbal cues impact communication? Imagine the following scenarios. Your superior enters to the office with an angry look. So the school's division superintendent arrives and surprises everybody in the school. Your best friend avoids you the whole day, pinned down for 3 hours for a 3-hour university orientation. So how would you feel if you are in that scenarios? Which among the above scenarios will elicit the most reactions? Darlene Price, author of Will Said, Presentation and Conversation That Get Results, said that the verbal cues are more impactful, especially when it involves attitudes and behavior. She further explained that when verbal and nonverbal cues disagree, you ought to believe the nonverbal cues. So let us also carefully use the verbal and non-verbal cues because it sometimes be misinterpreted. A good communicator, whether talking to a child in front of an audience or behind the desk, has to be only keen to verbal and non-verbal cues. More importantly, his expression and words have to agree, as I've said earlier. So example in verbal and non-verbal. So sounds, it includes volume, pitch, voice quality, tone, inflection, pacing, and posing. In words, word choice shows qualities such as intellectual capacity, intensity or urgency of the message, and confidence and values like modesty or superiority. For non-verbal, so these are or mostly uses emotions, tone of voice, pitch, volume, inflection, pacing, and pose. It also includes silence. And in body language, it involves gestures, facial expressions, posture, grooming, eye contact, touching, proximity, and confidence. The entertainment factor. People love to listen to stories in the form of oral poetry, songs, or plain storytelling. These oral communication activities, all packed with emotion differ in oral delivery. They communicate a lot of truth regarding relevant issues of today and yesterday, skillfully incorporating a variety of languages or language features. What important role do these activity foster? Oral poetry contains most of the elements found in written poetry. Aside from rhythm, it also uses figurative language. The difference is it is delivered or performed to a live audience, hence the body language and emotions are better expressed. Creating a higher degree of response among the listeners, some features of oral poetry are tone, matter, repetition, inflection, mode, and it perfects imagery. Songs. Songs do not differ much from oral poetry. Songs play a huge role in communication. It has religious, social, and political functions. It has similar features to poetry added the lyrical element. A special musical feature found in many different genres of music is syncopation, an artistic play of rhythm deviating from natural flow. Rap is a popular style of popular music that magnifies the use of syncopation. Its grooving effect appeals mostly to the young people. Storytelling is roughly defined as the sharing of events and experiences that is meant to entertain, inform, as well as to touch or teach morals. By stories, we may avoid communication barriers by passing morals to children and young adults indirectly. Everyone loves a good gossip or story. It is a safe and brilliant way to keep the children at home. So that would be all. I hope you learned something for our today's lesson. Thank you very much.